The best thing about not planning is that failure comes as a complete surprise and is not preceded by a period of worry and depression. Now that's a quote attributed to John Preston from Boston College, and it talks really about if you don't plan, you don't prepare, you're just so much more likely to fail. And I'm amazed at how many presentations I see where people clearly haven't prepared properly. So it's time for you to start thinking about your preparation and planning your presentation. Thinking about the content, the subpoints you're going to make to support the 3 key points you identified earlier, the data you're going to use, case studies, examples, stories, analogies you may share. Thinking about your audience. Who are they? How many people are you expecting? What will be their knowledge level? What about the environment, the room layout? Are you planning to use technology of some sort? Now there's no right or wrong way to do this. It's about finding a way that works for you. But here are 4 common methods that people use. So the first is the post-it brainstorm. Now this is something I use quite a lot. If you come into my office, frequently the walls are covered with little yellow post-its with all sorts of phrases and words on. Now the great thing about this is it's a very cheap but very flexible method. So you can put all your different elements on post-its, move them around, sequence them, reorder them. Really easy and fun way of planning and preparing your presentation. The next method is a storyboard. Now this was a technique pioneered by Walt Disney back in the 50s and 60s, and is often associated more with films or perhaps cartoons, of course. But it can be a very effective way to help you get the whole story of your presentation in one sense. Because that's what a presentation is. Fundamentally, you're telling a story. So a storyboard helps you sequence that in clear, logical steps. It doesn't have to be a work of art. Goodness knows if I drew one it wouldn't be. But what it needs to do is just help you clarify exactly how you're going to get your message across and at what point. Now the next method is using a template. For those of you who are more process oriented, you might find this a helpful technique. So it simply means developing a format that you can use to populate each time you prepare a presentation to make sure you capture the key elements. And finally, there's mind maps. Again, you may be familiar with the idea of mind maps, simple visual diagrams using nodes and lines that enable you to put a lot of information on a single sheet of paper. Now I find these quite a useful method as well. So developing a mind map around your presentation enables you to explore not only your content but also some of the other aspects such as the audience requirements, etc. So again, I stress there's no right or wrong way. But you do need to invest some time preparing your presentation, thinking about how you will get your messages across to your audience. But don't get carried away too quickly. As you move through the rest of the program, you will almost certainly come up with ideas and strategies that will influence what you want to put in your presentation. So let's move on.